Hey YouTubers, it's Cam Rock, and this here is The Great Debaters, and this is Denzel Washington. He's about to recite a poem from Langston Hughes, I Too Am America, 1925.
I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh. And I eat well, and I grow strong. Tomorrow I'll sit at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I, too, am America.
You know, I want to comment on how significant that poem is. Alright, so, for one, I got this movie at the library, the public library, and it's a great free resource that we enjoy in this country, in the United States of America, even here in 2013. Yes, libraries and books are still relevant. You know, contrary to popular belief, seeing as how we have so many ebooks and online resources that we use, and so many encyclopedias even have gone online now. But we still use books, and we still have a need for that, and it's still important, still very relevant. But this movie and this particular line and poem, I am the darker sibling, you know, and that's us, that's black Americans, that's the freed slaves, always having to eat in the kitchen when company comes, you know. We only recently have we been involved in so much in politics. I mean, we've always fought and struggled for it, but we've always had to fight so hard just to gain an inch, just to gain a small parcel or crumb even, to earn our place. Now, you know, we fought and bled and died in every war in this country. We are significant, but we always have to do so much more to prove ourselves. And educationally speaking, we've always had to go the extra mile. And up until, even though slavery ended in 1865, we couldn't go to school alongside of whites until 1965. It was 100 years before that happened. And even then, major icons in American history had to die for that. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, all assassinated because we wanted to just go to school and end the segregation that kept us not just separated physically, but financially, socially, and even on the moral level. We were separated as a nation. And this is after many people bled and died in the Civil War, black and white alike. And so we still, you know, we have a powerful poet, Langston Hughes, from 1925, saying, I too am America. And I often feel that way, having to explain myself or prove myself or go to a job interview. And I have to always, you know, be extra, extra. You know, we can't speak in the ghetto way that our people speak, you know, around the way in our hoods and our ghettos, right, in our projects and our Section 8 houses. Even though it's not even our fault that we live in projects and Section 8 houses and ghettos. We were placed there. Part of that segregation. Part of the laws that happened when slavery ended. Part of the safety and protection in numbers that we sought simply because, you know, groups like the KKK and just random people in neighborhoods who meant to do us harm would attack us openly. And even now in 2013, we still get attacked. Trayvon Martin being a 17-year-old unarmed boy being shot by another brown person, a man of Spanish descent. It's gotten so bad in this country that even other people of that's a minority in this country, of, you know, that are brown, from brown countries, feel like, well, dude, they disregard the blacks, the freed slaves in this country so much, even we can walk over them and go to court and be acquitted and not held accountable for our crimes. And that's exactly what happened in the Zimmerman case. He was set free. They said he was standing his ground against an unarmed high school child, simply because this child was walking home in the neighborhood in which he lived. Now, it's funny that other people's children are much safer in this country than ours, black Americans. It's so funny that we call out racism in this country, and we're accused, ridiculed of playing the quote-unquote race card, because we can't acknowledge racism anymore. And we can't acknowledge it because, well, black president's in office. Surely we're not a racist country now. We helped you vote in a black president. Of course, keep in mind, black Americans are only 13% of the population. Spanish people, 16%. Asians, 5%. And whites are still the vast majority. And this is based on the census of 2012. And you can get online and check that for yourself. So, does that mean that there are no racist whites in the country? Not at all. In fact, a majority of the white population did not vote for Obama. It's just that enough of that population voted for him that teamed up with the black population and the Spanish population and the Asian population, teamed up with the other minorities. It gave us a more majority vote, but I mean, that was still a very close run both times. So, can we call it the race card still? Should we? When I've posted 5 videos about the race card on YouTube so far, and more may be coming very soon. And I happen to use the Young Turks, their news reporting show, as a reference guide for it, where, they speak of a black man calling the police because his car has been in an accident. The police get there and manage to shoot and kill him. He's the one that called them. Does that happen to any other race in this country? And the answer is no. And we wonder why so many can just disregard us and push us aside, basically in the kitchen to eat when company comes. Is that why we can't speak about racism? Because the company is here now. You see all of these foreigners that are in the country, and the whites here don't want to look bad in front of them. They don't want to look like racist bigots in front of them. They don't want to seem prejudiced. And so we can't speak ill of our great nation and its hideous past and present that still exists to this day, because that mindset exists to this day. That civil rights movement that happened in 1965, these people are still alive. These are the same people that my people have to go and beg for jobs. Have their minds changed? These same people that the National Guard had to at one time escort us into school with high-powered assault rifles like M16s strapped over their shoulders. And they were so angry and full of hatred and racism. They still managed to pick up large rocks and throw it, not just at us, but at the National Guard too, and called them nigger lovers for escorting us into white schools. Even at the risk of being shot, they did not care. They were blinded by anger, rage, and racism. Is that significant to mention? I mean, is it fair to mention? Or am I being insensitive and using the race card again? Maybe, but I know it's not us that put that race card in the deck. All we've done is strive to be equals in this country since, ever since we got here in chains. All we've ever done is strive to prove ourselves in the military, in the classroom, in the workforce, at the voting polls. It's amazing. Yet we still get ridiculed for being urban, so ghetto, for singing rap music and writing rap songs about how hard life is in the ghetto. Well, word of the wise and news to the world, we don't choose to live in ghettos. That's not an option. That's just a fact of life for us, simply because, once freed, the slaves never got reparations to give us independence. You see, that's what that money was for and the land was for, so that we could form proper communities and start building within the black community, proper education, schools, and citizens who could contribute in an equal facet that white Americans and every other ethnicity in America contributes. You see, But we never got that. And in 2013, the significance of that is that Afghanistan got reparations in 2013. But the brown people and black people here never got it. And it's not a handout, even though many would have you believe that. There go those black people looking for a handout again. Well, okay, call it that. But of course, in a system of capitalism like we live in, of gods and clods, haves and have-nots, when you free a slave and give that slave nothing, by definition and default, who has not? The slave, obviously. In your system of gods and clods, who would be the clod? Well, I guess me and my people. And have we complained? No. We speak out against injustice. That's what we do. And that's not a complaint. That is a moral duty. And in all honesty, we haven't even spoken out enough. In today's day and age, in 2013, the revolution is all but dead. So, why? Because so many of us have died over the revolution. And our people simply want to live in peace. We're tired of killing and murders. Yet it has not stopped. Trayvon Martin is just one case. Renisha McBride is another. Jonathan Farrell is another. Diallo is another. And I could name names for a very long time of blacks who have been killed by citizens and the police, those who swore to protect and serve us. And these people, these black people, were unarmed and had done nothing wrong. Yet they died unjustly. Do I need to mention how many people were strung up and hanged and burned in their community simply because they were living there while black? From the end of slavery in 1865 all the way to just 1965, lots of black people were killed. Lots of race riots happened. One in the town where I come from, East St. Louis. And you can look up newspaper clippings if you go to your local public library. Pull up old newspaper clippings. You can find info on the St. Louis and the East St. Louis riots, race riots, where people were being shot down, women and children even, in the streets as they ran across the bridge from East St. Louis in today's, projects that we call the Gompers. Cross the bridge into Missouri, St. Louis, downtown, as bandits with guns, basically just gun-toting white Americans, ran them down and shot at them. Yet, we play the race card in this country, don't we? Because racism is clearly not an issue. Even in 2013, where Renisha McBride was shot and killed for knocking on a door and asking for help. And I'm sure that it had nothing to do with the fact that she was a black woman. However, where are the cases of this happening to white Americans? Even Spanish Americans, Asian Americans, any other American? Is it only making news because it happened to a black person? Are we using the race card? Or is it only happening in large numbers like this and in significant numbers to black Americans? And not as an accident. Trayvon Martin was no accident. He was chased down. Even after the police told Zimmerman, do not pursue this individual. We do not need you to do that. It still happened, and that individual was shot and killed. Maybe he was running because there was a 30-year-old grown man stalking him from a moving vehicle with a loaded gun. But maybe I'm just playing the race card again. You know, Langston Hughes' poem is a representation of all black Americans, that we too are America, and that we too are tired of being ridiculed for ignorance that is not our own fault. Of course, education was stifled for over, for hundreds of years for us during slavery, and even after slavery, an additional 100 years. And then even after the Bill of Rights was signed, an additional few decades. I mean, even now, in St. Louis, Missouri, the 14 schools that have closed down this year alone, are all black schools. You don't see white schools closing. So now we have the issue of, is it our children that's failing, or are we failing them? Are we just not properly teaching them? But clearly that's a problem and something is wrong. So I'm going to wrap it up with this. Race card, no race card. Acknowledging racism, not acknowledging racism. Sitting at the table when company comes, or eating in the kitchen. Does not matter. Because we are beautiful. We are black, we are proud, and we too are America. I'm Cam Rock, this is 2013. Please like and subscribe, and I appreciate it. And share the vid and leave me a comment in the comment box below. Thank you. I'm out.